He's not
Name
the
last
solution.
time you've seen or heard of a Kendall Fuller highlight.
That's a good point. You know who I've seen a lot of highlights of? Stephon Gilmore.
Yes, that's the man. That's the man. Even if they brought him in for 11.1, right player, right
11.1 is I bet less than Fuller, and he's a better player. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
You signed Cam Sutton for 11 million. You signed Stephon Gilmore to 11 million.
And does Stephon Gilmore give you because what is he, 34? This is telling me he's at the age where he's like, and again, he joined Dallas. I want to win, which Dallas is not the place to do that. Maybe not the Lions, but again, they went to the NFC Championship game, so they've done more than the Cowboys have done in my lifetime already. I think this would be a destination spot for Stephon Gilmore. I do.
I think, honestly, you brought up Leonard Floyd the other day. I think him and Stephon Gilmore are the most realistic free agent options for the Detroit Lions defense. Because to your point earlier, what you're just saying about the Dallas Cowboys, Gilmore went on that team to chase a ring. He thought maybe I can win one in Dallas. You just saw the Lions in the NFC Championship game who damn near beat the Cowboys, so he knows what the Lions are all about. Physical culture guy. He is up there in age. He's 33, 34, but he's playing like he's 29. And it's because he's going back. Stephon Gilmore, he was always the guy that went low. He took care of his body. He always has like 1 or 2 interceptions a year, but it's because he's not getting a lot of targets. And he did the same thing in Dallas. He has not had a huge drop-off, and I would not expect that to happen with Aaron Glenn and the safety help and Aiden Hutchinson in front of him.
Yeah, I think you know what type of player Gilmore is and like the veteran presence he could bring to a secondary that has had some troubles over the year. I wouldn't mind it as long as you can get him anywhere in like a short-term contract, hopefully like 2 years and anywhere between 8.5 million up to like 11 or so. I would say that's a fair price for him. I wouldn't mind it. It's definitely not my first choice, but I wouldn't be disappointed if that came across my Twitter for sure.
I mean, when I saw him against AJ Brown in Dallas, when he shut down AJ Brown and he was talking shit to AJ Brown and he got AJ Brown rattled, forced a fumble on AJ Brown to close the game. And who do the Lions have to go up against in the playoffs potentially? The Eagles. And if AJ Brown, there's trade noise around him right now. So if he's able to do that, Cam Sutton ain't doing that. And I'm sorry, I don't think Stephon Gilmore turns into like a lockdown corner, but he's an upgrade in many ways.
What about you, Boone?
Can you guys hear me?
What do the notes say? What do the notes say?
Before I read the notes, I want to say this. I think it would actually be really good. This is just off the top of my head. I think him and Cam Sutton actually would like that. Putting Cam over to that corner too, and like that's an upgrade than having Kendall Vildor and kind of what you've been working with there with Jerry Jacobs and kind of rotating guys, Khalil Dorsey. Like this is going to be an upgrade no matter what. The notes say this though. There's 4 bullet points. One, saw him get cooked versus the Packers. I saw a couple videos today of highlights of him getting absolutely cooked versus the Packers. Number 2, that's the second bullet point, says old. Third one, cheaper than 10 million, please, Brad. And that was all the notes. So I think, to be honest, I would love him if it's not at 11 million. I just can't see, and you probably have to pay him 11, to be honest. But if he wants to win and leave Dallas and come somewhere who just went to an NFC Championship game, his brother's here. I think if he wants to give himself a chance to go win win a Super Bowl, I think this is a perfect spot for him. I just think like the price tag is what it always comes down to me. Like, you're already paying Cam 11. You probably have to do a 10 or 11 again with him. I do think, and at the end of the day, I do think it's an upgrade from what you have already. Does that mean it's a good thing? A good decision? No. But if he's like kind of one of your last choices and you need a corner, like, I would rather have him than draft someone in the draft and put that guy out there.
Yeah, and for me with Stephon, like, yes, he's up there in age. He's out of his prime. He's still a good corner. There's times where, again, his age shows like that. That's fair. But to Lucas's point, like, you're getting a guy in this room that's, number one, played at the highest level. It has played really well, but he has so much experience. Like so much experience. He's again, like, nothing would surprise Stephon Gilmore. Like he has seen literally everything. He has seen so many types of receivers. I would love that, especially in this room. But again, even to Adam's point, he brought this up. Like, maybe the guys we're talking about, there might be somebody else that Brad adds at the deadline. Like it could not just be this offseason. So I like Stephon. I don't know if I love him at 11. I would like maybe a 1-year deal for less than 10. Maybe you can get him on like, hey, come chase a championship. We need a guy like you, a veteran, another veteran in this locker room. Maybe he joins, but I'm not going to, I'm not putting all my chips in for Stephon Gilmore, but again, out of these corners, he's the one I want out of the guys we just went through. I don't know though.
I mean, everybody's saying getting cooked by the Packers, but so was Deron Bland. CeeDee Lamb was dropping passes. Like that whole team did not just like that whole team didn't show up. So I'm not saying he didn't get cooked, but especially if you think about the Lions and zone coverage this year, how it was a disaster. Stephon Gilmore, when he won Defensive Player of the Year, that was what he was changing the way that you were using corners and zone coverage for a little bit of that time, where the whole prototype of a corner, you wanted a long corner that could read zone coverage, but also man up on you because everybody wanted to go man to man. Well, when Richard Sherman and Stephon Gilmore were at their primes, it was all about zone coverage corners.
Yeah, and I think I want to make sure I get the comment right here. Who said it? I think it was Big John. I think Big John brought up, and it's actually a perfect point too. You look at that Packers game, like the Packers ran the ball at will. So again, like they're keeping this defense just like your defensive line, of course, getting pressure matters. Like you saw with Cam Sutton, he was already not playing well, but if you can't get pressure, like, yeah, he's not playing. He's going to be playing terrible. So, you know, assuming they upgrade this defensive line, you'd think the secondary would have a little easier job trying to stay in coverage there. We wouldn't have to guard receivers for as long.